Is that like a very high school, sort of stupid, judgmental thing to say? Absolutely. And I will continue to say it until the day I die. Well, everyone, hello and welcome back to STS. Boy, it has been quite a long time, almost a year and a half since I was last doing this, so it's been a while. If you're just new and fresh to this and you haven't watched STS-1, my name is Jared. Welcome to my YouTube channel. STS, also standing for Shooting the Shit, is basically me bringing in my friends and people I know or folks I find interesting, sitting down at a table with them, literally in my garage. We are in my garage right now. This is not a set. This is like my actual garage.
That is an actual box of junk from Jared's house.
It is. That is an actual old ice cream maker right there. And in fact, maybe we should do an STS where we make old ice cream at some point. And that is a thing of lighter fluid, which I will not demonstrate here for us indoors today. For the outdoor portion of the show, yes. But, of course, I always like to have on interesting people or friends of mine, because who says nepotism can't get you far? And for STS-2, we have the return of one Blake Calvert, my best friend for a very long time, at least 2 decades of friendship.
Very least.
Going back to, I would say, middle school, kind of in there.
Yeah, I think that's when we started becoming aware of each other.
Yeah, and then in high school we finally kicked it off, and we were doing theater together.
Oh, yeah.
With things like that. So I actually don't think we discussed that in the first episode of STS ages ago.
If I remember right, we did discuss how our moms were in the same mommy and me class.
Yes,
so
like 30 years ago.
Right.
That's pretty wild to think about, that like you and me crossed paths 30 years ago. And now every single thing we have ever done in our lives has led to this moment with us here. And this is...
Oh, sorry, I'm just thinking back to where I went wrong.
I was just about to say, this is incredibly disappointing.
Yeah.
So that's also our humor. We really like to rag on each other quite often. So,
and on ourselves.
Yeah, and on ourselves too. We feel it's very important to not take yourself too seriously. Right. So,
Yeah, self-deprecation is a very healthy sort of mechanism.
Yes, it is. So we'll kind of see how this goes today. We have no set thing that we're going to be talking about. We just sit down at a table and we talk about whatever we want to talk about. And I feel like we probably have to address the elephant in the room, or should I say the elephant sitting on the planet, if you think about it.
Got real comfy for the last year and a half.
Yeah, it's been really nice. The COVID-19 pandemic is, of course, what we're talking about, which is one of the things that did contribute to me not really being able to get back on the horse with my YouTube channel, because just like work stuff completely interrupted everything, and then there were a multitude of other things related to that. And overall, this has been a very bizarre 15 to 16 months of living.
Yeah. Also, it's kind of hard to get 2 people in an enclosed space together.
Yes.
With everything going on.
Yeah, and one of the things I said about STS was that we're not going to do it until it's safe enough to do it. And we figure at this point, we're both comfortable in saying that it is safe enough finally to actually do it. We're both vaccinated. I was still keeping us 6 feet away, even though we're both vaccinated. And I caught COVID actually earlier this year, and that knocked me out for about 6 weeks.
Yeah, I was afraid for you for a while.
Yeah, it was not a fun experience. So for those of you who may be sort of like hesitating about whether you should go get the vaccine or not, go get the vaccine, you dip.
Yeah, there's literally no excuse. Everybody over 16 can get it. In fact, I've heard somewhere.
Well, here in the United States, yes.
Oh yeah.
Around the world, we're unsure of what the situation may be, because let's face it, we're in America. There's nowhere else. But no, I'm just kidding. I better not make that joke, because like half of my viewership is from outside of the U.S. So.
But anyway, yeah. If you're in the United States, you have no excuse not to get. In fact, a lot of places you don't even need to get out of your car to get the shot.
That's a very American thing.
Right.
Not even having to get out of your car. You just roll up in your car, roll down the window, go in it with it.
And just sit for 10 minutes and see if you have any adverse reactions.
Yeah, and that's kind of how it goes.
Right.
So, yeah. But I mean, I'm very glad that things are turning around as a whole. Obviously, there's certain places that are not doing particularly good, like India is one of them. And I'm really hoping that India does turn it around, simply because just...
it's like some of the vaccines are actually going to be available to the public, so other pharmaceutical companies can make generic versions of it. So
I'm super glad that that's happening. That should have happened from the start.
Yeah.
But that's kind of the way it goes, and certain things. So
if it makes you feel better, think of the United States as the guinea pig country.
Yeah, like we're the ones that I guess took the lumps to see if it would work correctly.
I mean,
I don't know if that's really like a valid way to look at it, though.
Again, I'm just trying to.
The United States wasn't the first. We didn't have the first vaccines, if I recall correctly. So I believe England had vaccines first. Well, actually, I think it was Russia that had a vaccine first, and they kind of ran with that. But obviously, we're not using Russian vaccines in the United States
for several reasons.
Geopolitical mess that everything is. So
see everything post World War II.
Well, I mean, once the Soviet Union broke up and everything, we were the Cold War cooled down, but it's getting a little. The Cold War cooled down, I guess. How do you go from Cold War to cooling it down? It stopped.
It warmed over.
It warmed over. Boy, I'm really glad I'm not involved in political science, let me tell you, because I would just be terrible about this. Luckily, I work with real science, not fake science.
Ooh.
Yeah, I said it.
Burn to poli-sci majors.
Yeah, burn to poli-sci majors, yeah. Them and economics majors, in my eye, are just as fortune tellers masquerading with numbers. So
how's GameStop treating econ majors?
Can you believe that? Like, what the heck was up with that?
The power of memes, my friend.
I just don't. That is incredible. Reddit almost caused a global economic catastrophe. They were gonna shut down the NASDAQ from that. Like, they were gonna shut down one of the biggest financial institutions in the world just because a bunch of poor people were actually starting to make money in the rich person's game. Isn't that wild that they're like doing that?
Yeah, and it kind of solidifies the stock market is meaningless.
Yeah, quite a bit. I really hate it when my friends are like, "Well, the stock market's up. At least look at that." It's like, don't use that. Like, that's not like you or me on Front Street who are benefiting from that. Right. So, whatever. I have a confession to make, though. You know how there's like all the DogeCoin mess and crypto stuff going on? I have some DogeCoin. So, but please listen to me about this first before you throw down a harsh judgment on me.
Too late.
Because this is not something that I saw a month ago, and I was like, "Oh, I'm going to jump on this and make a buck." Because I think crypto is stupid. First of all, I think money is stupid in general. But also, I'm very much admitting that I don't know what to do other than money.
I say bring back the barter system.
Hey, if it works for Burning Man, it can work for us. My dad, when he was alive, because he's dead, what? He's not gonna roll up and start to try to defend himself.
Just how matter of fact you just said, my dad's dead.
He's dead. What do you want me to say? My dad's dead. What am I supposed to say? He's dead. He died. I watched him die in front of me. So, come on. What am I supposed to do?
I mean,
how do I phrase it other than he's dead? He's dead.
I just say, you kind of already broached me to said when he was alive earlier.
Yeah, but I just want to make sure because because there's, this is the internet. Not everybody gets it. So
do not edit this out.
Let's just stay it in. So absolutely. See, the thing is, I can't edit this out because if my dad was alive, he would absolutely want something like this to stay in because my dad loved everything but good taste. So,
okay, so
you
DogeCoin.
were at my dad's like funeral party thing, and you know that it was basically all of us slinging jokes and ragging on him, just like you and I rag on each other.
Okay.
And we brought his ashes in his little ashes box, and we put a party hat on it because that's just how my dad was. He would have wanted something.
I could go into your house right now, get your dad's ashes and the can of orange soda.
Should we have a cameo from my dad?
Maybe I didn't want it.
Okay, we'll put a cameo in from him. A little later down the line, we'll bring him on. Maybe I'll do a whole episode with him. Have him sit over there. Like we can talk about whatever we want to talk. Okay, so back to before my dad was dead. Why you could crack me up so much with all of this? Look, I'm not gonna BS it or skirt around it. He's dead.
It's not the fact. It's not the fact. Just how you're so blunt about it. It's just so funny to me.
It's just how it goes. I hope when I'm dead, people are as blunt about it as I'm being about my dad. So,
well, Jared got crushed by a steamroller.
Yeah, unfortunately, he just crushed by a steamroller. Okay. I'm not going to question that. I'm just going to add that to my list of things to worry about. So if I ever see a steamroller, just stay far away. Am I going to stand there? Stop! Like in Austin Powers. All right, so back to what I actually wanted to talk about, which was DogeCoin, and the. Please do not judge me for what I'm about to tell you, but I have DogeCoin. I bought DogeCoin. But I bought DogeCoin back in 2019 because in 2019, my dad told me, he was like, hey, you need to start investing in stuff so that way you can retire. And I don't really want to retire because I love working in the spaceflight industry. It's a ton of fun. I basically want to die at my desk. So, which apparently a steamroller is going to roll through my office and kill me. If you're some sort of soothsayer, I don't know. Hey, at least you're a lot more accurate than say political science or economics. I decided that I was going to prank my dad. So I've never really explained this, but me and my dad had a 2-decade-long running prank war between each other. I would do a prank on him, and then he would do a prank on me, and back and forth. And we do a prank would happen every other week, maybe once a month. But it was one of those things where it's like, oh, okay, well, I'll work on getting you back, and then we would. So we had a 20-year-long prank war back against us. And I'll come back to that in just a second because I have a little bit of a story to say about that. But he said, you need to invest because you need to retire. You need to have money for when you get older, which we're millennials. That's not happening. And I thought about it, and I was like, what would be something that would just piss him off, to no end? What can I do that would be useless, but at the same time shocking, but at the same time not cost too much. So I said, okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to buy 50 cents worth of Dogecoin and tell him, I have done this, and then track it on my little whiteboard how much my 50 cents has grown. So when I bought 50 cents of Dogecoin back in 2019, one coin was 2/1000ths of a cent, something like that. So anyway, I think it's 221 Dogecoin or Doge, whatever you want to call it. I don't know. I'm not a virgin. I don't pay attention to this too much. I said, look what I invested. He's like, oh, you stupid son of a, as he would have, rightfully harangued me for the trifling that I had been doing. And I did it, and I forgot about it, and up until about 3 months ago, I completely forgot that I had this Dogecoin just sitting there, and now all of a sudden I have $130 worth of Dogecoin, and I just don't know what to do with myself. So I did say though that when it hits $1, I will sell it, and all of that money is going to 4 different charities. So I already have the 4 charities that I want to send to. So So now
I was going to say, just if you keep riding that train, you can eventually get enough for a PlayStation 5.
and then buy it in DogeCoin. So, yeah, and buying my PlayStation 5, that will bestow triple virginity down upon me. Because if you buy a video game system with crypto, you are you're really,
you're not even trying.
Yeah, you're not even attempting to hide it at this point. So, is that like a very high school sort of stupid, judgmental thing to say? Absolutely, and I will continue to say it until the day I die.
You know what? You're the editor. You decide. I don't care either way.
Okay. There's a fly. I'm sorry. I got distracted by a fly. I'm so sorry. There was something buzzing straight at my face, and it made me look away from you. Which I know it's really hard to look away from you with your afro. You've grown your fro, and it looks good.
Yeah, I mean, again, pandemic's kind of hard to go down to the barbershop.
Yeah, a little bit. Just a taste with it. So, or you could do what I did. So a couple weeks ago, where I shaved my head. So
I don't want to know what I look like, bald or shaved.
That's fair.
That sounds like an uncover horrors not meant for man.
So usually I'm super uncomfortable about it, but for some reason when I did it this time, I was just like, oh yeah, look at that.
I mean, you got a decent enough head shape that you can pull off bald.
Yeah, I suppose. I mean,
seriously, can you just imagine me with zero hair?
No.
Would you want to see me with zero hair?
No.
There you go. Anyway.
Yeah, I was going to say, for the folks who are just listening to the audio-only version of this.
By the way, this video is sponsored by FjordVPN. The only VPN that routes directly to small bodies of water in Norway.
Are you proud of yourself?
A little bit, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's not a real company, by the way, so don't attempt to try and find it.
No,
so.
I mean, seriously, FjordVPN? What are you, an idiot? Anyway, I know I am, but still. Actually, I kind of wanted to talk a little something.
Okay, yeah, go for it.
Something that people may or may not know about us is that up until the pandemic hit, we were annual pass holders for Disneyland.
Yes. I feel like if you follow me on Twitter, at Jared Head, you probably saw before the pandemic that I was at Disneyland like every other night.
And quite a few of those.
I'm a big fan of theme parks. So.
And quite a few of those nights, I was there with them.
Yeah.
So again, that was actually one of the weirdest things to sort of adjust. Because, like, literally right before the lockdown, I lost my job. And it's like, oh man, I'm really bummed. A trip to Disneyland would really cheer me up right about now.
Yeah.
And, like, about a week later, they announced they were shutting down the parks indefinitely.
Yeah, actually, we were at the park like a week before they shut it down.
Yeah, for my birthday.
And we were kind of, and then that's kind of when things were starting, that's kind of when the shit was hitting the fan here in the United States at the beginning. And we were kind of like, like, we were kind of like, was that a good idea? In retrospect, was that a good idea to be in Disneyland at that time?
I mean, I didn't get COVID.
Yeah, you didn't, but it was like on our minds, like, like hopefully.
Like for like a good 2-3 weeks afterwards, I was thinking, oh Lord.
Yeah, we were like, oh goodness. So what could possibly happen? But it is weird to not have that annual pass anymore, just because of how first of all, it's weird because of how frequently we went, and it's weird because of that long period where Disneyland wasn't open, which was the right call.
Right.
First of all,
absolutely.
So neither of us were those people who were like in like a July article in the LA Times who were like, I don't know what I'm going to do with my life without Disneyland. It's just like I would recommend getting a grip on your life. So that might be one.
I mean, if you're desperate for some escapism, we recommend D&D. So.
Yeah, D&D is great. You don't have to be in person to play D&D either. There's software that lets you do it. That's what we did with our D&D group. Actually, our D&D group, we still haven't met in person. So shout outs to our D&D group for doing such a good job. The gang.
Hope to be with you guys soon.
Yeah, definitely. So lots of fun.
So anyway, so
no, there will not be a D&D podcast. So
unless you give us a lot of money.
yeah, well, I mean, it's also one of those things where it's like, who doesn't have a D&D podcast? So it's like, what's the point? We're not gonna add anything by throwing ourselves into the mix. So let's just sit down and enjoy it ourselves.
Yeah, but
if you want to, you could be a part of the studio audience that we have, because we do have people that come to just watch us play D&D, which is great. Which then puts, like, I want to say puts pressure on me to try and be funny, but like,
well, when are you funny?
that's a fair point. That's a really fair point.
But anyway, since I brought up Disneyland, I actually brought it up because they've actually recently reopened the park.
Mm-hmm. I know that because my partner works for Disneyland,
and they reopened the park for limited capacity,
California only as well. So
and they're observing like all the regulations. So again, I feel like they're making the right calls here.
Yep.
For like for a decent sized number of the population being vaccinated and all that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm also bringing it up because a little while back Disney sort of floated over the idea of expanding the parks.
Yeah, having a third park.
I mean, I'm not really sure they officially said it's a third park or some sort of mass expansion, but they're planning something, but they're blocked because the Anaheim, Orange County zoning boards are sort of saying like, we're gotta maybe ask you to pump the brakes on that a little bit. Again, I'm not gonna dive too much into the politics about it, but it just gives me some ideas about what they could possibly add on to it.
What?
Well, like some of the concept art, like you see like a stone panther, so a lot of people think because I think, shit, are they putting Wakanda?
Wakanda.
Is Wakanda coming to California?
Wakanda. I'd be down for that. That would be cool.
I mean, yeah, duh. Yeah. But actually, it sort of gave me this idea I've had for another Star Wars related ride for Disneyland.
What?
All right, so
because they've already so just to throw down what they already have, they have Millennium Falcon Smuggler's Run, which is fun as heck.
Oh yeah.
So punch it, Blake.
Again, I will say this: if you're a Star Wars fan who's been like absurdly upset about the Disney buyout, my only retort is, you could go to Orlando or Anaheim and fly the Millennium Falcon.
Yeah, it's pretty cool, I gotta say. Also, I just want to say this too, as we have done on that ride before, which is that if you're in line and you get since it's 6 people on that ride and you have a family in your ride, you let that family do whatever the they want.
Right.
So
you just sit back, be engineers.
Just whatever positions the kids want to do, just give them the damn card and let them do it. Because when you were 12, you probably wanted to fly the Millennium Falcon. Don't screw it up for the 12-year-old in your group.
Right.
Or if you're 8, you've always wanted to be a gunner for the Millennium Falcon, so don't screw it up for the 8-year-old that's in your group. So
let the kids have fun at Disneyland.
Be cool as hell. Be that good person and let that happen. And we've done that a lot.
Oh yeah.
It's honestly more fun to do it that way than it would be to just like do whatever I want.
Oh yeah.
Anyhow, in the Falcon. So
anyway, and another ride they have is
Rise of the Resistance.
I only managed to ride it once before the shutdown. But
and
it is glorious.
It is amazing. And just to kind of throw this out there, I did my first ever episode of Adventure, which is another little show I do on this, which is sort of like the adventures I get up to. That was for a preview of Rise of the Resistance, which I got invited to as a VIP. So
we'll put a link somewhere. I'm not sure how it works.
We'll put it in the description below.
In the comments. But anyway, and again, to go further back, there's also Star Tours, which
Star Tours, yeah,
it's always fun.
Yeah, it is fun. It's a classic.
Right.
You can't like get rid of that without.
But anyway, my idea for another Star Wars ride is, again, I should probably mention that most of these rides take place in like the sequel era, like right between episodes 8 and 9.
Mm-hmm.
And my idea is basically the Millennium Falcon Smuggler's Run, but you're a trainee resistance pilot and you get an X-Wing.
Nice. So like a single person,
Right.
like a flight simulator,
Right.
but like for combat,
Right.
kind of what you're thinking about. So.
And again, it's sort of like a nice little, just like partway through, it's sort of like you get a message saying, "Oh, a resistance transport's been captured by a Star Destroyer. They need your help." So you push a button, zoom, you're in the big space battle from Rise of the Resistance.
Nice. That'd be pretty cool.
Right.
I like that. Tying in the rides
Exactly.
together with that there. So you should become a Disney Imagineer.
I
Hire him.
might not be good with engineering or other science things, but I'm good with concepts. I'm a good idea man.
That is true. You're pretty good with the ideas.
Right.
I gotta say.
So what about you? What's your take on the Disney expansions and whatnot?
I thought it was really cool because they're trying to look at like this space that they really aren't utilizing for anything more than a parking lot.
Which is what they did with California Adventure.
Yeah, so California Adventure was built in the old parking lot at Disneyland, and it was often in the early days as empty as the parking lot.
Yeah.
And it's fun as the parking lot too. Boy, some of those rides were awful.
R.I.P.
Right?
R.I.P. Superstar Limo.
Oh my God! Why did you say that? That is disgusting. So, Superstar Limo was this terrible dark ride where you were in like a limo.
You're a celebrity going to
car,
premiere,
and it's a premiere for your movie.
and you see animatronics for whatever celebrity they could afford to get the likenesses to.
I was about to say it wasn't really like celebrities though.
I mean, considering back at the time it was first out, like Jackie Chan, Drew Carey, Whoopi.
Yeah, Cher, Regis.
Anyway, it's
What?
It's a monster.
What small child knows who Regis Phil? Who knows? I can't say his last name, so who knows what Regis is when you're like 7?
Anyway, it's the Monsters Inc. right now. So
yeah, so they turned it into Monsters Inc. So it's almost like how things actually go, which is like Pixar comes in and actually makes something good.
Makes something a child would actually care about. Much like how they're changing Splash Mountain into a Princess and the Frog ride.
Yeah, so they're going for that. So it's good.
I mean,
so
I know people are upset because oh, it's changing. Oh, it's not that racist. Or
is it though?
Here's my take. My take is this. I can go to Disney Plus right now, and in like 3 clicks, find Princess and the Frog.
Mm-hmm.
If I wanted to watch Song of the South, I have to go to Ukrainian Amazon to find a bootleg that's probably staying with somebody else's blood and donate a kidney as part of the transaction.
Nice.
So,
Very
if given the option, go for the one that kids would recognize.
Yeah. That's what I gotta say. I mean, was it Song of the South like in the 40s?
40s, 50s.
Yeah.
It was definitely well walled.
I think we're ready to kind of update that. Splash Mountain's in 80. It was made in the 80s, if I remember.
It was
correctly.
made in like 89.
Yeah.
So Walt was long dead.
Yeah. But it was a.
And also I love how people act like it's this long story tradition that's been around since the parks first built.
Like, no, it hasn't.
It's probably as old, if not slightly younger than us.
Yeah, I mean, gosh, it's another fly. So, it's just no, it's one of those that you don't really need.
I'll give you Zippity Doo Dah is a pretty catchy song.
It is a catchy song, but then you remember what it's from, and you just go, oh.
As I like to say every time we go past it, Zippity Doo Dah, Zippity Yay. Don't ask your parents what this song is really from.
Yeah, it always reminds me of people who talk about Gone with the Wind very fondly, which I have to be very careful about that because Gone with the Wind is one of my mom's favorite movies.
It is I will say that it is a very well-made movie.
It is an exceptionally well-made movie, but it makes you develop sympathies for people that weren't exactly sympathetic.
Right.
So, yes, it is very well made. But at the same time, these are not nice people.
We probably shouldn't celebrate people who've owned people.
I wouldn't recommend it. Like it should be discussed.
Right.
Absolutely, it should be talked about. If you forget history, you repeat history.
Exactly.
So it's super important that these kinds of things are not swept under the rug. So that's why I'm not a big fan of when people are like, no, we shouldn't have any access to this cartoon because it had racist caricatures in it. I really like the fact that Warner Brothers puts that thing in front of a lot of their cartoons. It says, it was wrong at the time and it's wrong now, but to say it didn't exist is to erase it and repeat those mistakes again. And I feel like that's a really good and important point.
And again, even Disney got on that bandwagon. I've been rewatching the Muppet Show, and like a good chunk of the episodes, like, hey, look, there's some insensitive depictions of other nationalities and races. It was wrong then, it's wrong now, but we feel like we keep it as it is in order to fuel discussion about it.
Yes. So it's always good to discuss stuff like that.
But that doesn't mean X thing is canceled because they have that.
Yeah.
If anything, it's never been easier to watch the Muppet Show.
Yeah. Exactly. So, which, by the way, you showed me my first episode, my first full episode I've watched through of the Muppet Show, because I'm just one of these people who has apparently never seen anything
Muppet related.
Well, yes, I have seen stuff Muppet
like
related
full Muppet projects.
But just like bits and pieces, but nothing full, and I quite liked it. So
it was it was the Elton John episode of the Muppet Show.
It's pretty good,
which I feel pretty strong indication.
Yeah.
If nothing else, you get 4 great performances by Elton John.
Yeah, and it was great. I really quite enjoyed it. So, yeah. And some of the other things that I was just recently introduced to in 2019, we had my triple run through of Indiana Jones.
Right.
So we did that, which is great. Love it.
Because before then, your only exposure to Indiana Jones was the ride.
Yeah, and that's not enough. So as I learned, you have to have a little bit more.
And remember, there's only 3 Indiana Jones movies.
Yep, there's 3 of them. And then we got in one Lord of the Rings movie because I've seen the Hobbit, the Peter Jackson Hobbit, unfortunately. God, that was just...
Again, going back to Star Wars, that's like having your only experience of Star Wars being Phantom Menace, Attack of the Clones, and Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah, like you got to get the whole picture. So the first one, fantastic. Absolutely loved every second of it. And then we were going to do the next 2 in that, and then COVID. So nothing we could really do about that.
Which by the way, since things split up, we could always kick back up.
That's true. Once we're a little further down the line with that there. So if there's any movies that you think I haven't seen that I should see, or anything, or basically if there's anything you think that I haven't seen that I should see, you should comment below and let me know.
Or just put down movies you like, because there's a good 80% chance.
Yeah.
There's a good 80% chance Jared has not seen it.
Because I don't have time. Like between doing this and working on tomorrow and then working in the space industry, there's just very little time. So my free time is very important to me. So I spend it on things that I find very important to me.
Right.
And unfortunately, that is not often seen movies or TV shows or other things. You also know me, I'm not a very passive person. Right. Me sitting here right now is taking a tremendous amount of effort to not just get up and start doing backflips. Just because I want to be doing something.
You can't tease the audience with that and not deliver.
I will not deliver. Watch me.
Wind chimes.
So yeah.
Anyway,
so it's really tough for me, which is so funny because people will often be like, since you're on a really popular YouTube show, what's your favorite YouTube show? And I just go,
I like watching old Vine comps.
The space ones?
Sometimes I watch old Vine compilations.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Just have the power of God.
Yeah. Oh, you're a big bear. Big bear, we're going to go up to God.
Oh, it's the aliens from Men in Black. Go blow them up. Yeah.
Milk.
If you don't know what we're talking about, I guess you'll still stay in the dark. No, don't tell them. Don't tell them. Don't tell them. They have to figure it out on their own. So,
I don't remember the dude's name. I just remember.
There are some secrets that must be kept. So, Vine was fun. Vine was so much fun, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was great. It was brevity.
Right.
Like you had to get that point across really, really quickly. And
I wasn't always great at it.
Then Twitter looked at it and said,
I'm going to turn this to
we
poop.
can't do this.
I'm going to turn this into poo-poo.
So Jack, the runner of Twitter, or as I like to call him, young Rasputin, because if you've seen photos of him, he looks like Rasputin.
He's definitely plotted to kill a czar or two.
Yeah. He's definitely Rasputin, but without the talent. So I think Rasputin would run a social media company extremely well. So
who's to say he isn't?
That's fair. That's very fair. Rasputin was very mystic, apparently.
So I just love how this show went from talking about a worldwide pandemic to your dead dad, and now to Russian mystics.
Yeah, we went pandemic, dead dad, DogeCoin, Disneyland, Star Wars, Rasputin. I feel like that's one of those things where that has to happen every episode now. At some point, I've just got to figure out how to put Rasputin in an episode. And just, regardless of who the guest is. Yeah. So, because there will be more varied guests coming up, because people I talk to are starting to get more comfortable about things like that, which is good. I mean, I only want people to come on if they're comfortable doing it.
Right.
So that's a pretty big thing with me there. So, yeah. So what else? What else been going on? So.
Well, I started a new job.
Yeah, I was just about to say, you got a job.
Yeah, just this week.
Congratulations. I know it's been over a year since you lost your OG job.
Yeah, and the pandemic's been hard on a lot of people.
Yeah, it has. So I'm very glad that you got a job.
Yeah.
In
fact, a few days, my job ends up in the vicinity of your job.
That's
or
true.
One of your jobs.
One of my jobs, yeah. So, which is pretty cool. So, we'll definitely not say the names directly, just as a courtesy and as a smart move,
right?
With that there, but yeah, it's really cool.
Right.
I saw you outside of the window of my job today, so I made a video of you.
And it looks like this.
Yes, I can see you very far away from me. I'm going to crush your head. I'll be crushing your head. Crushing your head.
Oh. What's up?
Yes, I'm hearing.
What's up?
I'm hearing. Don't forget.
Oh.
Lock the door, the front door.
Oh, yeah, I'll go. I'll grab that right now for you. Yeah. Thank you.
Da 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 da.
Okay.
Da 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 da. That's about as much as Daybreak as I know. And I only know that because of Community. I'm just eating up airtime until Jared gets back. Maybe this will make it onto the video. Maybe it doesn't. Who knows? I don't.
Sorry about that.
He's back.
Though not like it wasn't a bad thing. It's just we're having some work done with my house
And his face.
and my face. They just needed to talk real quick, which is totally cool. They've been doing a fantastic job on the house, so very, very appreciative of them for that. So.
Alright, so before we were interrupted, we were discussing...
I wouldn't call it interrupted, but my attention was needed.
Right.
Legitimately needed, so,
Right.
Yeah.
Again, we were just talking about work.
Yeah.
Which we got.
Yeah.
Which is good. Not a lot of people are still struggling right now, so...
Yeah, and I really hope that the struggling ends sooner rather than later, so really pulling for a lot of people.
But at least on the U.S. side, we're starting to see some light at the end.
A little bit of light at the end of the tunnel. There's still, oh my gosh, there's still some major things going on that are just not fun. I've seen a lot of positions where people left management positions and those positions are not being filled in again. So like your already strained core of people is going to be strained even further. And it's just like not cool. So, but I mean, you know, when the collapse eventually happens, you know, I at least personally have watched enough Mad Max that I'm going to be reasonably okay. So,
and I've seen enough movies to know to glom myself onto the person who seems to have his shit together.
Yeah. So you can absolutely come along and be my gimp.
I mean,
or my simp, whichever you prefer.
I prefer to be neither. Just maybe like that helicopter pilot guy.
Oh, the guy in the auto gyro?
Right.
The gyro pilot?
Right.
Yeah, you could be that.
Right.
Yeah, you're tall and lanky and really weird looking. Yeah, we can make you the gyro pilot.
All right.
So
sounds good.
that's cool. So yeah, I'm for it.
All right.
Make it happen. So one day I'm gonna talk about how Mad Max Fury Road saved my life. So
and made your car.
A little bit, yeah. I've got my license plate says "Witness Me" on my Jeep. I figured that's an appropriate thing for a Jeep to have on its license plate. So you know, just what I figured. You know, and I'm out in the desert a lot too, just like Mad Max, everything. So yeah, it's good times.
Oh, speaking of, what's your opinion about the Furiosa prequel movie?
I think that'd be pretty cool as long as they do it correctly. So make sure George Miller is involved in it. So.
If I remember right, he is.
Yes.
However, they don't have Charlize Theron, but it's about a younger one. And
yeah, I was gonna say.
And the actress together, Anna Taylor-Joy, is pretty talented. She just in that chess movie on Netflix. I'm getting the name.
100% A-okay with it.
Right.
So.
And also, she was in New Mutants, which I saw recently, and it's a wet fart.
Not bad, huh?
I mean, maybe it's just a bigger bummer for me because I'm a huge X-Men fan. They're like my favorite.
You are.
They're my favorite comic book superhero team.
Yeah. You know how Wolverine has that scene in the animated series where he's sitting there with like the picture,
the meme,
looking at it? Like Wolverine's got like a picture of you, just fondly looking at you.
I will not be upset if somebody makes that meme happen.
I might, for all I know. So,
but anyway, yes, they're my absolute favorite, and as Jared kind of alluded to, my big introduction to it was the animated series, which is fantastic. It's on Disney Plus. Watch it. Mm-hmm. Still holds up pretty good, although there is some 90s-isms.
Well, it's the 90s. Like, for you and I, we're going to be A-okay with it. I'm sure a lot of other people are going to be like, why are they so enamored about that? You know?
Why are they obsessed with shopping malls and chili fries?
Yeah, what's up with that?
But anyway.
Malls? What are malls?
So when I found out they were making movies, I was amped as f***.
Oh, yes.
And the quality is always in flux, I should say.
It was a roll of the dice. You never knew really how it was going to go.
Good 60-40 on it being trash.
Yeah, pretty much.
And just knowing that it ended, that the whole franchise, at least from Fox, the Fox X-Men franchise, ended on New Mutants.
Just
really...
I think that summed it up. So
I mean, I've heard a lot of people say, like, it's a pretty decent pilot for a TV series, but not really much to build a movie on.
Yeah. I mean, in 2, you had Dark Phoenix and then New Mutants. So, ouch. That's a 1-2 to knock you out.
I always like to imagine that the people who made the movies are really bitter that the best adaptation of the Dark Phoenix saga was from a cartoon 20 years ago.
Yep, bitter all the way...
30 years ago.
Bitter all the way to the bank, I bet.
Because again, that cartoon still has the best version of the Dark Phoenix saga.
What is the best movie-going experience you've ever had in your life?
Ooh, that is a good question.
And it could be multiple experiences. So
okay, I got a couple that come to mind when I think about great movie-going experiences.
Okay.
One is actually Phantom Menace.
Okay. I'll throw on that too, because when you're 10 years old and
Right.
Star Wars is one of your favorite things, and you've been bullied for years about liking Star Wars, and now everybody wants to go see Star Wars, that was like redemption for me.
Right.
So that's about the time when I was fully like, okay, I would just fully embrace being a nerd, and if nobody likes it, then that's their problem, because look at how much money this movie just made. So
Right.
obviously people like what I like, so y'all can shut up.
Yeah, but my reasoning for like putting Phantom Menace so high in my movie going experiences is because it came out when I was like in 3rd grade, and my older sister, who was in college at the time, actually got me out of school one day to catch a matinee of it with her and her friends.
Nice.
So, and again, as a kid, you watch Star Wars, think, oh, awesome, pod racing. Oh, Jar Jar, he's kind of funny. You're not really aware, oh, this is not good.
Ooh, yeah.
But I can't bring myself to hate it.
It's really difficult.
Because, again, I just had this, not only as a kid, and you don't really know any better, but also because I had this amazing sort of experience tied into it.
Yeah, now with the sequels to that.
Oh, yeah.
With
Attack of the Clones.
Attack of the Clones.
That's when I realized.
Stinker.
It's when I was feeling, oh, these movies aren't good.
Yeah, and then finally,
Revenge of the Sith?
yeah. At that point, I was just like, I'm checking out from this.
I did audibly.
Like, you know what? I don't think George should make anymore. So
I did audibly laugh at the end when we just heard Vader go, no!
Yeah, that was... it still pains me to hear that today.
But
So,
again, you know what? Watch Clone Wars and it kind of retroactively makes that movie better.
okay. That's something I have to watch.
Right.
So, in my long list of things to watch.
But anyways, that just reminded me. In a recent comic, Darth Vader comic, it was actually revealed that the big Death Star fleet from Episode 9 was being built as far back as Empire Strikes Back in terms of timeline.
Okay.
And that just sort of raises the question, wait, Vader saw these Star Destroyers getting built, and maybe it's going to be revealed later on that he's got his mind wiped, whatever, but he saw these being built, and he never thought to appear to Luke as a Force ghost and be like, oh, hey, Luke, listen, before he died, the Emperor was building this massive fleet of Star Destroyers over in Exegol. So you and your friends might want to check that out, make sure nothing bad goes down.
Maybe he did and Luke didn't care.
Maybe, but it's just... See, that's one of the problems with prequels in general as a concept. It just opens up all these other plot holes that weren't there before.
Yeah. And then you just, fall. And then you, fall between two plot holes, and you hit it, railing on your crotch. And you're just like, oh! And it just doesn't work all that well.
Honestly, I think the best prequel is Indiana Jones and Temple of Doom.
Yeah,
because it's so
good.
far divorced from the main plot line of Indiana Jones.
It's so out there, too.
Yeah, so you just watch it and unless you're told otherwise, you wouldn't even know it's a prequel.
Yeah, you'd just be like, oh, look at that. He's on another adventure.
In India. And it's like, why are they eating monkey brains?
Why are they doing stereotyping? Oh, this is not... Why wasn't there a warning before the start of this? So, right?
Yeah. But anyway, going back to your question about movie-going experiences. My second one that comes to mind is the Dark Knight midnight premiere. A bunch of our friends from college. We all got together.
I remember that. I was there, and that was a fantastic night.
Yeah, I actually ran into my older brother and my dad, who also, for some reason, decided to catch the midnight screening of Dark Knight.
Well, everybody was trying to catch the midnight screening of it when it came out.
And again, you know what? Great movie. I think it still holds up pretty good.
Yeah.
And
I still think it's one of the best superhero movies ever made.
If nothing else...
And I will be that snob. So...
If nothing else, probably the, or at least second greatest Batman movie.
Yeah.
Similar wiggle between that and Batman 89.
So yeah. Well, I think kind of two different ways to tell the story. So Batman 89 a little more original with what it is, and then Nolan, trying to keep it a little more realistic, I guess is how I would describe it.
I think it kind of depends on if you want full Burton nuttiness, or Nolan somewhat self-importance.
Yeah.
Pick your poison.
Yeah, that's fair. Or you could like them both, like I do. So.
Again, there's nothing wrong with enjoying them both. But
exactly.
Oh God, sorry. I'll get back to my thought later. But what's sort of like one of your best movie-going experiences?
Oh gosh, trying to think of some. I think I would say. I want to say a more recent one would definitely be seen Blade Runner 2049.
Oh, right.
That was really good because me and my partner, who will be on a later STS, we both very much like cyberpunk and the aesthetics and the story and storytelling and other things that come with that. So Blade Runner is obviously, it's not the genesis of that genre, but it is the definition of that genre.
It had probably the biggest impact on the genre ever since.
Yeah, that visually,
right.
Yes, definitely. And I definitely, that's not how LA looks. But there is that part in the back of your mind that always says LA would look pretty cool like that.
Well,
except for when you realize that it's because it's massive amounts of pollution and economic inequality.
Well, there was that time earlier this year when there was that massive fire and everything had that red tint.
Yeah, somebody did put like drone footage flying over the Bay Area to the music that they used at the start of Blade Runner 2049 when they're flying over the Central Valley in California, when it's just this bleak landscape, and it fit a little too perfectly. Yeah, just because that movie... So I had pretty high expectations going into that movie. The director, Dennis, very excellent movies. I'd already seen his two previous movies, Sicario and Arrival, so I already had very high expectations going in. So that's why when I found out he was going to be the director... I can't remember his last name, that's why I said Dennis.
Put like a little chyron at the bottom.
Yeah, I'll just fix it. We'll fix it in post. I'll say it. I knew that it was going to be super good. So when everybody was like, "Oh God, a sequel to Blade Runner," I really didn't freak out too much because he was attached to it. And I was like, y'all should go see the rest of his movie. Like, you should go see his movies. Like, he's going to knock this out of the park. And he did. And that's why I loved it, because every moment in that movie was exactly what I was hoping for. And it was really good. And also, I'm just going to say it, Ryan Gosling is hot. And my partner, Ray, looks like Ryan Gosling. It reminds me of Ryan Gosling, so I'm just gonna throw that out there. That
Ryan, you could white splain jazz to Jared anytime.
I got the hots, it was really great. And then David Bautista is in it. He is an actor,
right?
Like, holy moly! Like, most wrestlers, when they just get into acting, they just like play a different version of their character as a wrestler. Right. But like, no, Bautista is like, he's good. Like, he's actually good. Yeah, and there's a really great prequel that you could watch that was made to be watched before you go see 2049 that deals with his character. It's like 5 or 6 minutes long, and it's 5 or 6 minutes, but he makes such a massive emotional impact in that time frame. Like, most actors don't even do that well, and he does it. His character, you remember that character throughout the entire movie, and he's only in it for like the first 5-6 minutes. I
saw this.
Like,
I saw this like one story talking about how Dave Bautista might be leaving the Guardians of the Galaxy franchise after Volume 3, which
I understand.
I'll be bummed as a fan of the movies, but I get it.
Yeah.
But like, a lot of people like sort of saying like, oh yeah, it's not like I could just get anybody else and paint them green and be mostly signed. I'm like,
What? No.
Are we not watching the same movies?
Like, what are you guys talking about?
There's some depth to Drax. I mean, yeah, he's a joke character a lot of times, but there is some legit depth to his character.
Yeah. And I do have to say, during the second one, when he starts laughing, when they're like, there's love. No, a sexual love. And he starts laughing about that. Yeah.
He revealed your deepest, darkest secrets.
Every time I think about that, I crack up a little bit more about it. And I think that's one of those jokes where I've laughed. One of where I've laughed the hardest at something at a movie. That was definitely one of them. Definitely up there. Also, I got to see the 40-Year-Old Virgin in theaters back in the day, back in 2005. A fully packed theater. That was fun because that was such a that was just like a high watermark for improv and filmmaking.
Or you just reminded me of another movie-going experience. So one day, my family and I, including my grandmother, went to see Knocked Up. Now, for those of you who haven't seen this movie, it's about Seth Rogen. Yeah.
You took your grandmother to see Knocked Up.
Again, I didn't. My mom brought her, and my mom went because, it was a Katherine Heigl movie, and this was back when she was in her peak of popularity. I think Grey's Anatomy was still sort of hitting its stride back then. But anyway,
that is not a movie you take your grandmother to.
But anyway, that's not what it is. For those of you who haven't seen it, it's a movie where Seth Rogen accidentally gets Katherine Heigl pregnant, and it's just a whole rom-com about their relationship post one-night stand impregnation. But there's a scene at the end when Katherine Heigl is having her baby, and you see a crowning. Imagine seeing that with your grandmother not 2 seats away from you.
Mm-hmm. So what'd your grandmother think of the movie?
I mean, if I remember right, she liked it, but again, it's one of the... I don't know if she liked it or she was just trying to be polite.
Gotcha.
But it's just... Wow.
Nice.
I mean, I see with my older sister, because, my older sister, it's one of those kind of cool people that's into movies like that.
Yeah.
So...
if we're talking about movies that we've showed to our grandmothers that we probably shouldn't have showed to our grandmothers, mine, Pulp Fiction.
Whoa. Okay.
Not in theaters, but we
That's even worse.
We got through it. We did get through it.
No, sorry.
It.
That is worse, because, if you go and see it in a theater, you're going relatively blind. You probably, could base on, the actors and the director on what you could expect. And probably see some scenes from the trailers, but you still be blindsided when you see Katherine Heigl crowning.
Yeah.
You had seen Pulp Fiction beforehand.
Yes.
You knew exactly what you were going to be exposing your grandmother to.
Yeah, I did. So.
How dare you expose her to Quentin Tarantino being way too comfortable saying the N-word?
Actually, that's the best part about it. My grandma liked Pulp Fiction. She asked me to keep the VHS at her house for her. So, she didn't like all the racist words. She's like, I don't really care for all the racist words in it, but I thought it was a pretty good film. I liked that the story wasn't in chronological order.
Really?
So, yeah, she did. So,
yeah.
Can you believe this, this 82-year-old woman from Great Depression, Arkansas, or she said Arkansas, loved Pulp Fiction.
Wow. Sorry, that's just a bomb to drop.
Yeah. It's a little... Kaboom!
Also good on your Depression-era grandma not being okay with the N-word being uttered so often.
Yeah. It's definitely good. She was a very good person.
Well, that's not fair. I've
really.
been working very hard on this impression. And you're saying I shouldn't do it? Okay, how about that? So it's not a good way to do John Mulaney?
Yeah. So everybody, that was Blake
doing my impression of John Mulaney.
Go ahead, go off.
Well, now that I got your permission to do my John Mulaney impression, I just want to say that I greatly enjoy your company, good sir, and I hope to do it more often in the future.
I enjoy your company too, and I hope that we get to do more STSs together, because This is fantastic. I always like sitting down and just talking about stuff with
Right.
people.
So anyway, anything else in the news?
So anyways.
Is there anything else in the news you care to discuss? Any current events from your life or in general that makes you want to talk? What?
Was this are you trying to lead
no,
into
no,
something?
no,
or?
Oh no! Oh, sorry.
Just the way you said that, I was like, where is Blake going with this?
Oh no! I'm not trying to lead you. I'm not trying to lead you into any conversations you don't want. I'm just generally curious about your takes on the modern times. This has been.
I don't know what you're doing, Blake. What's going on?
You really want to know what I'm doing? I'll tell you what I'm doing. I'm with you.
Yes, you are. Oh my gosh, I don't know what's going on anymore.
I just felt like fucking with you a
That's
little
just,
bit.
you know me, I get easily confused about stuff, especially when you start doing stuff like that, and it just throws me off so much. It's like a curveball, like bouncing before home plate and then hitting me in the nuts. You know, it just.
Why'd you point to your chest when you said hitting the nuts?
Wait, what?
Why did you point at your chest when you said hitting the nuts?
I'm like, I'm in general, general gesture for a ball bouncing and then hitting me in the nuts.
Yeah, but again, you just struck your sternum.
You don't know where my testicles are.
Your testicles are in your sternum? See a doctor.
Chesticles, if you will.
Oh God, that's not what that means. What are you?
Oh, I'm just f***ing with you, Blake. I'm just f***ing with you again. Ow.
Your hip.
Yeah, my hip. So, yeah, it was good stuff. I'm getting old.
We
My
all
hip
are.
hurts.
I.
My hip hurts, man.
Yeah.
I'm getting old. Look at me.
You're like in your 30s. I mean, to be fair, people can probably figure out our ages when we say, "Oh, we were 10 years old," and Phantom Menace comes out. So,
Yeah, I'm 32.
Yeah.
So
yeah, same.
Yeah.
I'm just saying people can do the math and figure out how old we are
Oh, yeah.
based on that.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's fun stuff. So,
Yay, 30.
I'm a big fan of mathematics.
I can take it or leave it.
So, yeah.
I understand its function. I understand its necessity in society.
It is a function.
And I also understand its necessity in society. I am not good at it, nor do I care to do it on demand.
Yeah. I just feel like it's not correct for people to say they're not good at math. I always feel like they weren't taught math well. So math is really hard to teach.
Right.
Because you have to do it just right. You can't force someone into understanding math. You have to guide someone into doing it. That's the hardest bit about it. And there's not a lot of teachers or professors that do that well. So.
Oh, sorry, just going back to school. Speaking of bad teachers.
Oh yeah, I'm going to be going back to school this fall. I'm very excited to be going back doing degree work. So
Good.
super excited
Good
for
to hear,
that.
good to hear.
So finally returning, I had to take those years off for mental health and everything, and just kind of work through all of that and kind of go with it. And then I had to take some time off because of family, and then COVID hit, and I was like, you know what? I don't really want to contend with school while the world is, well, as the Smash Mouth would say, the world's on fire.
Smash Mouth's a little bit responsible for this.
You're not wrong. They did that concert
At Sturgis.
and a whole bunch of people got sick and died. So I can't believe you would do that to me, Smash Mouth. So because I am 32 and I am.
You are 32 in the year of our Lord, 2021.
And I'm willing to admit that I still listen to Smash Mouth. And not only do I still listen to Smash Mouth, I have all of Smash Mouth's music. And not like I have it on my phone or on my computer. No, I have like physical copies of everything. So
Again, it's... I would say they're a country fair band, but they have dipped lower to being a Sturgis band.
yeah. Well, I mean, like, it is what it is. So
Yeah, but anyway.
look, all I'm going to say is I'm not embarrassed to say that I like Smash Mouth. So
Again,
they made good. Their pop from the '90s is good. Okay,
Look.
like you're hard pressed to find. Yeah. Anyways, I understand. Let's not let's shut up about Smash Mouth
You're.
and let's keep going.
I don't know. Oh, wait, if you're so proud to be a Smash Mouth fan,
I'm not
why would
proud.
you
I'm
want
just
to-
not embarrassed. Like I listened to him. Like I was a white kid. It was a teenager in the 90s and the early aughts. Like what were you expecting me to listen to? So
Now again, I don't know. I'm not judging your taste as a teenager. Everybody had
I'm
taste.
judging your taste as an adult.
Exactly. Everybody had taste in their teens and tweens. Again, I think it's fair to say that.
Yeah.
But you maintain that taste well into adulthood.
Hey, you know what? I'm just gonna say it. I would still listen to Britney Spears music from my childhood. So, in sync.
But is it good? But
And
again,
Backstreet Boys.
is it good on its own merits, or is it just good because of nostalgia?
When I was watching This Is the End in a movie theater full of people, and they came on at the end, and it was the Backstreet Boys, that theater started clapping so loud.
Again,
Let me tell you.
But again, is it because of the quality of their music, or because of nostalgia?
Okay, who cares if you enjoy it?
Again, I'm not.
It's not hurting.
Again,
anybody.
I am not judging you
Go
for.
for it.
I'm not judging you for enjoying it. I'm just saying, are you enjoying it because of its merits or
I'm
nostalgia?
gonna get into a fist fight with you. Just kidding. No, obviously there's tons of nostalgia involved in that because that was a great time to be a teenager.
Right.
So it was wild, man. Like you're watching technology and stuff come up and just like holy shnikes.
Again, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that.
So I don't know why I'm talking about it in that kind of a way because one, I'm 32, so it's not like I'm old, and then like.
Well, we're old in internet years.
Yeah, I get. Yeah, just a little bit. So,
But again, I feel like it's kind of fair to ask that. Like, if you still enjoy something from your childhood, do you enjoy that because of its quality, or just nostalgia? Like I can watch like a couple old episodes of Power Rangers.
Yeah.
Original Mighty Morphin Season 1 Power Rangers, as like, oh my god, this is goofy as hell.
this is funny.
Right.
Yeah.
But again, as an elementary school student, when that show was first coming on,
Dude.
that was the most awesome bad thing in the world.
Like you either watch that show or nobody talked to you.
Exactly.
And luckily, everybody watched that show.
Right.
So, like you go over to your friend's house to watch it.
Right.
Like there'd be like 10 of your friends at your friend's house to all watch it at the same time. And then when they were fighting, you'd all get up and fight each other. Like there were some friends who always wanted to be the baddies, and then there were some friends who always wanted to be the Power Rangers. And like the kids who were the baddies, like never had a problem figuring out who's who. But the kids who always wanted to be Power Rangers would always fight about who was being who for that episode.
It's like, okay, guys, I'll be Goldar. Helen, you could be Rita. What was the monster this week? Pig Man? You're the Pig Man?
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah, exactly.
No,
So-
I'm Tommy.
No,
I'm Tommy.
No, I'm Tommy. No, I'm Tommy. I want to be Tommy. I'll be the Black Ranger.
Shut up, Frank.
Yeah, shut up. So, yeah. So I guess speaking in other things too that I still watch from childhood would be Digimon. So
Digimon went places sometimes.
yeah, it wasn't like Pokemon, which kind of just I'm just gonna flat out blatantly say this: Pokemon just wanders aimlessly, and it just never appealed to me because of that. So,
But again, if you get some other enjoyment from this stuff,
yeah,
fantastic.
Hell yeah.
Good on you.
enjoy whatever you like.
Right, again, so long as you're not hurting anybody, enjoy whatever you like.
Have a good time. Enjoy yourself. Bring back those memories.
But I will say this: the English dub of Digimon, looking back on it as an adult, holy
Holy
Am I wrong?
No, you're not wrong at all. Oh my god. Yeah.
Also, with that said,
Yeah.
English dub has the best opening of a lot of anime openings.
Yeah.
It's
tolerable.
Also, it just gets stuck in your head really easy.
Yeah, that's right.
In fact, admit it, y'all are thinking about it right now.
You are. You can hear that song, which we're not going to say because of the algorithm. So don't even, because I don't want a copyright strike.
Champions!
Yeah, exactly. It gets caught in your head. Now it's stuck in my head, and it's going to be stuck there for days. Thanks. Thanks. Actually, when
hey, listen.
we talk about dubs, I should get Mark to come on
Oh,
to
yeah.
talk about it. My friend Mark Allen Jr., who's a voice actor.
We're also friends with Austin Lee Matthews, which, and if y'all folks
Yeah.
played the...
Damn it! Get me Austin on this show now!
Oh, it's your show. You contact him.
Get me Austin right now. Get me Austin. So
any of y'all
I should get Austin on here.
Any of y'all
Oh,
folks?
can you imagine me and Austin in the same room?
Oh, Lord.
I think did you go to Disneyland when me and Austin were at Disneyland
I'm not
together?
sure I have,
Because
but-
oh my god.
Okay, that's something to put on our...
That was like two neutron stars orbiting each other, preparing to become a black hole. Like there was so much energy was about to be released.
That sounds like something... That sounds like should definitely be on our post-COVID bucket list.
What? Two neutron stars becoming a black hole?
No.
Going to Disneyland.
All of
with
us
Austin.
going to Disneyland together.
Yeah, that would be a little bit of a riot, I think.
But anyway...
Literally.
And for those of you who aren't aware, Austin Lee Matthews is a mutual friend of ours.
Yes. Also, I want to say this too because I just haven't said it in yet on my other areas. Not only is Austin Lee Matthews an incredibly talented voiceover artist, he also has done a kick-ass radio series, whatever you want to call it, audio drama called Megaton Girl, which you should listen to.
We'll tag in the comments.
Yeah.
Check it out. It is spectacular.
It is so well done. Like, Austin should be running a show for a studio. Seriously.
I mean, Cartoon Network,
He's that good.
Somebody get in contact with this guy.
It is immensely entertaining. I love it, and I'm not really big on that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I'm not usually huge on audio dramas either.
Yeah, he nailed it.
Oh yeah,
brilliant.
I'm looking forward to episode 3.
It just blows past, and then you have to go re-listen to it because of all the jokes you might have missed.
Right.
So it's like it's a machine gun of jokes, and it just hits you, and they're not ha 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 jokes. They're like armor-piercing round jokes.
I think my favorite joke that still sticks in my mind from his is from the first episode where Connie, the main character, is just learning to use her powers for the first time. Mm-hmm. She tries to jump off a building, falls, lands on a car, and just for a good 2 minutes, every time they talk to her, she always responds with
yeah.
But until a few minutes later, she's like,
yeah.
Well, if you're downgraded from to you're good enough to fight.
Yeah, exactly. That's Austin. That's Austin, all right. So, good stuff. Yeah.
Also, if you played Final Fantasy VII Remake, he plays Roach.
Yeah.
Please send him your fan art. He loves it.
Yeah. Also, to kind of talk a little bit back to Mark. Mark is the lead character in the English dub of the Day I Became a God,
and also
which is a really cool series that I actually did watch and enjoyed. So
he's also in the English dub of the second season of Dr. Stone.
Yes.
I forget the character's name, but he's an archer. Mm-hmm. Please tell me his name. I'm blanking on it right now. If you want.
Don't look at me. I haven't watched that one yet, unfortunately. So
I mean, it's a great work. So, and everybody, please send him your love. And if anybody,
I'll definitely throw their Twitter links at least down in the comments because they're awesome. They're just awesome people to begin with. Austin, just because if you've ever wanted to know about voiceover, what it's like to be in the voiceover industry and stuff, Austin is a really great reflection of that. Same with Mark. Mark also does storm chasing as well, and he does it. He does it scientifically. He's not doing it for fun. He's actually doing it, I would say, professionally, not as a thrill seeker either, trying to sell footage to news organizations and stuff. He's actually out there monitoring things so that forecasts can be made better. So he's actually in it for the science, not for the ooh, look at me, I shot this cool footage. If there's cool footage, it's just a bonus for him. Which is pretty awesome.
He's more Bill Paxton than Carrie Elways.
Yes!
And if you've ever seen the movie Twister, congratulations on getting that reference.
God, I love that movie. Are you kidding me? So one of my friends, Dutta, every time Dutta always gives me really good advice and stuff. So I always say Dutta is good, Dutta is wise, So just like Rabbit from that movie, right? Rabbit is good, Rabbit is wise. So I love that movie.
I can't believe
I just love like that movie. That Twister and Armageddon are really good movies because they don't take themselves seriously. They don't try to bullshit you about what they are.
I always remember this clip from the commentary track of Armageddon.
Oh my God, it was Ben Affleck.
Ben Affleck is always asked, would it just be easier to teach astronauts to use a drill than to train oil drillers to be astronauts?
And Michael was like, shut the f*** up, Ben. Shut the f*** up and I'll do the movie.
Okay, so just to recap. We talked about COVID.
Yeah.
We talked about your dead dad.
Yeah.
Talked about theme parks and Star Wars.
Dead dad. Dead dad.
Talked about Rasputin.
Dead dad. Dead dad.
Talked about Rasputin.
Yes, we did.
Talked about going to movies.
Mm-hmm.
And now...
Which I'm really looking forward to when we can actually, when I feel safe to go to movie theaters again.
I feel
what was the last movie you saw in a theater?
Okay. Oh, good question. I think before they shut down, the last movie I saw was Jojo Rabbit.
Oh,
the Taika Waititi World War II movie.
Yeah.
It was it was just phenomenal. Like, when you hear Taika Waititi as Adolf Hitler...
Yeah. You know something's going down.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
going to be good. So.
Have you ever seen that movie?
I have not.
All right, so just know it's
I understand the premise of it though.
right.
So
That he's not actually Hitler. He's just a Hitler used imaginary Hitler best friend.
yeah. So it just sounds so wrong, but it's apparently so good. So
Yeah, and also like great thing about that movie because as it goes on, the war is almost over. The boys starting to realize, oh man, have we been on the wrong side of this?
are we the baddies?
Right, exactly.
So, yeah.
It's just you could start seeing like his imagination of Hitler just go from this sort of cheerful kind of like, oh hi, how's it going, Jojo? You're the best. To you will do as I say because what I'm doing is right and I am strong. And just seeing him slowly morph into how we understand Hitler to be in a historical context.
Yeah.
And people are concerned that he's getting his own Star Wars movie.
I can't wait to see that.
It's going to be fun.
Just as I can't wait to see the next Thor movie from him.
It's going to be fun.
It's going to be great. I love it.
Listen.
What's the vampire movie he did?
What We Do in the Shadows.
Yes. I saw a clip of like the first 6 minutes of it. I need to sit down and watch that because that was another one of those things where I spent like 6 minutes nearly laughing the entire time with it.
Oh, if you like that, you gotta check out the TV show.
I've heard that too. So
it's actually kind of great because they have this familiar who discovers by the end of the first season that he's actually a descendant of Van Helsing. He's this guy who's obsessed with the idea of becoming a vampire.
But he's descendant of a legendary vampire hunter. That's so good. That's so good. Oh my gosh, you just reminded me that there was a movie, a Van Helsing movie.
Oh.
So, you remember that? With Hugh Jackman as Van Helsing?
With Huge Jackman?
Yeah, Huge Jackman. So, yeah.
Anyway, going back
to... The guy who did The Mummy did it.
Yeah, let's go back to something pleasant. There's actually another
What do you mean go back to something pleasant? Van Helsing was just like a fun, like, go have fun movie, right? Like, here's $10, go out and go see a vampire.
Yeah, but just because that doesn't mean it's good.
I mean, yes, naturally,
anyway, but
wait, okay, hold on. Let me ask you this first before we move on, because I just want to get some clarity on this. The 1999's The Mummy. Yes.
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 It's goofy fun.
Goofy fun. Yes, exactly. That's what I love it for. It's like Indiana Jones, but less serious.
Right.
That's how I look at it.
Right.
And that makes it actually, in my opinion, a little bit better than Indiana Jones. Indiana Jones is really fun, but also it's got humor in it, but it's not like oriented towards humor for a lot of it. So.
All right. Okay, that's fair. But anyway,
and I feel like Brendan Fraser would have been a great action star had
things have gotten better.
Yeah, gotten better for him.
But you
That that sucks what happened to him too, with him getting assaulted and then saying that he was, and then his career basically got cut at that point.
But
So,
hey, you know what?
But come back.
Yeah, he's on Doom Patrol right now.
Yes.
Good show.
Yes.
Good on him.
Mm-hmm.
But again, go back to saying there's it's another clip. It's another scene in What We Do in the Shadows, the TV show, where Nadia, the female vampire, meets this little girl who knew her back in the old country. But anyway, she's like 80 or 90 years old right now, but she remembers her as a little girl. And the old woman remembers her, recognizes her, and she's like, "Can you please make me a vampire?" Sure, you'll get to live forever. Oh, but I look like you? Well, you look like what you do now, so... no, thank you then. So you'll just basically be this forever.
Yep. Yeah, so if you want to live forever because of a vampire, you better do it while you're still hot.
Right.
I guess. I don't know. I don't know what the rules are, so...
Oh, and there's another... Sorry. I know I'm probably spoiling a lot of stuff for you, but I just got to...
Don't spoil things for me!
Okay, fine, I won't. But I will say this: if you've seen a lot of vampire movies, or you're familiar with a lot of vampire movies, there's gonna be one scene near the end of the first season where you'll be like, "Holy
Okay, I'll have to watch it then. So, last movie I saw in theaters was Ford versus Ferrari, which was very good.
Good dad flick.
Good historical drama. So, not quite entirely accurate, but you have to tell a story as well. So
Yeah, but again, it seems like kind of like a dad flick, like a good movie where you could bring your dad to see.
Yeah, I think my dad would have. Yeah, my dad would have liked it, definitely. But he didn't like it because he's dead. So,
what's happening? If you don't say something right now, I'm going to throw this chair and break your new garage door.
And with that, I think we're going to go ahead and wrap up this episode of STS-2 with the amazing Blake Calvert. Yes, two. Deuces. Dose. Due.
Dose. Dip.
I'm not going to disagree. So, I'm glad that you used plural for that.
Right.
Yeah. Because it's grammatically correct. And for me, grammar is important. Grammar is important. I don't know where I'm going with that, so let's just go ahead and wrap this up. So thank you all for watching. Stay tuned for how I was greeted at Blake's house when I went to go pick him up. Yeah, it was something else. I definitely appreciate it. And we hope to have you back on sooner rather than later. I know our next STS, we're going to have somebody else on. To kind of come on in and just kind of mix things up a little bit. Sorry, I hate you. But maybe we'll have you back for STS4, STS5 sometime around there, and you found me. Everybody, be good, be safe, and keep exploring.
Don't blame me. Who smelt it, dealt it. Try asking me for a gassy fart. Or say random.
Alexa, give a random fart at 6:30 tomorrow morning.
That was a smelly one. Would you like me to play another fart sound?
That's enough, Alexa. Thank you.
Okie dokie.